Mallory Hartley, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, sitting alongside the Director of Recruiting, Greg Powers.
Howdy.
Howdy. Do you want to launch a new series today?
I guess so.
Where we talk
I'm
about...
here.
We're going to mix Texas high school football with Texas college football and talk about the 2026 recruiting classes. And as you can see behind us, we're going to be talking about the Houston Cougars today. Powers, what does that graphic behind us say?
It says, best UH class of all time.
Best University of Houston
Question mark,
class of all time, question mark, or should that be an exclamation point?
Yeah, I think that's the question. I made the graphic. I put a question mark on it because I think the question should be asked. But I'm going to go ahead and put my exclamation mark on it, and I'm going to give you the reasoning, a little bit of the reasoning why. 2016 featured Ed Oliver. He's one of the top defensive players ever to come out of Texas high school football, and that class ranked 36th in the nation. This class checks in at number 39. 3 of the highest rated commits of all time, 3 of the top 10 are in this UH class. As a matter of fact, the top 3 highest rated offensive players. If you count Paris Melvin as offense, I don't know that I do. I think I may count him as defense in my mind.
I think he's a true two-way player. I mean, his stats last year, I have him actually pulled up right here. He played running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback as a junior.
Yep.
And he rushed for over 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, completed 3 of 5 passes for 52 yards and a touchdown, added 22 catches and 352 yards and 3 touchdowns, totaling 16 yards per catch. And then on the defensive side, he collected 13 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 interception.
Breath.
So, yeah, let me breathe now. But that just speaks to the type of athlete that he is and that he could, really play both ways there.
I think money, whenever I think of his stats and watching his game, because with that athleticism, if you can become a true defender, great defender, a lot of cash coming your way in the NFL, because guys on the defensive side of the ball are sometimes harder to find who possess that type of elite athleticism. His success all over the field only tells me that, he could play multiple positions, but he tells me that he could be successful no matter what you decide. In this class, we talk about Keyshawn Henderson, and justifiably so, a lot for UH. But you shouldn't gloss over the fact that if Keyshawn Henderson wasn't committed in this class, they'd still have the 2 highest rated offensive commits in the history of Dave Campbell's rankings on this commitment list in Jaden Warren and Paris Melvin, if you count him offense. And if you count him defense, then he's the 2nd highest rated defender of all time in UH's class. So 2 elite historical commitments outside of the number 1 player in the state, Keyshawn Henderson. You can't overlook that. And I think right now in college football, this is a time, if you're a fan, to be excited.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because things have evolved and things have changed. And I know right now sometimes, you read the social media comments and people are a little bit down or a little bit bothered by the transfer portal, or that some of these players might not stick. But you're getting better players than you ever have before. Schools like Houston, SMU, Baylor, Texas Tech, in-state are doing amazing, amazing things. And the product that they're going to put on the field is significantly going to be better than it has been in recent years. The last 2 classes that Fritz has built at Houston, number 41 last year and at number 39 this year, that's probably about 20 spots over their historical, finish. Average finish in the recruiting rankings. So stacking classes and big classes at UH right now.
I love Demetrius Dean from the class of 2025 from Jasper High School. He was one of my favorites in the class of 2025. But I kind of want to throw it back a couple years ago when Houston joined the Big 12. They joined in 2023. And one of the biggest emphases that they had when they joined the Big 12, I can't speak today, is 1, new facilities, which they're about to launch their new football facility here this summer. And 2 was the recruiting. So they bring in Coach Fritz, in before the 2024 season starts. His son is the recruiting coordinator, I believe, at the University of Houston. And since then, they have been able to put emphasis on the Houston area and recruiting in the Houston area. 8 of the 16 commitments they have now from the class of 2026 are from the Houston area. And of course, the top 3 are Keyshawn Henderson, Jaden Warren, and Paris Melvin Jr. Give me a couple of other guys that you're keeping your eye out on from the class of 2026, also from the Houston area.
Well, the first name is their most recent commitment, and that's John Hebert from Houston Straight Jesuit. I just have this feeling like we were posting about him after he made his commitment to flip from Washington State and stay closer to home at UH, which congratulations, Cougars. You're getting one of the best players in the state, staying at home. He's so fun to watch. But I just have this sneaky suspicion like he's not only going to be one of the more overlooked players in the class, he's going to be one of the more overlooked players in the nation. The things that he's doing game over game, week after week against 6A competition in Texas high school football is uniquely rare. Uniquely rare.
To get y'all even more excited, I have his stats right here. He compiled 3,532 rushing yards as a junior, which, by the way, was the 7th most in Texas high school football history, and 38 touchdowns on the ground. And then he added 9 catches for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns in the year.
I just feel like Powers, he's going to be a Heisman. Rank him higher. Rank him higher.
Rank him higher. Well, Carter actually put him on the watch list for the 6A player, the Ford 6A Player of the Year watch list, which understandably so. He's got a great chance.
They need to rack up enough wins for him to get that award. You know, they have to have a really good season. But the talent is unmistakable. I mean, and just pop on his highlight tape, and I'm sure that you guys are watching this a little bit while we're talking about him. You can see that he has the it factor. And I really also like what Houston's done up front to open up holes for a guy like Hebert in the run game or whoever it is that's lining up in the backfield. One of their more recent flips was Rhett Gray from TCU. A mammoth offensive lineman who has experience playing tackle, but I think that he could easily slip inside and play guard. As long as he's not too tall that the quarterback can, throw over him. Well, I got good news. Keyshawn Henderson's really tall, so it doesn't really matter.
I know.
What the guard's going to be because Keyshawn's like 6'4", 6'5", and Rhett Gray's, 6'6", 6'7", well over 300 pounds, a true road grader. Troy Pless from Killeen Shoemaker, also one of the top-rated offensive linemen in the state, one of the top interior offensive linemen in this class. And, just in general, I think that they've done a tremendous job of going out and finding guys who fit the profile, fit in with their schemes. And they haven't completely abandoned their Louisiana recruiting either. They built up a really strong base. Both Coach Fritz's in their time while they were at Tulane. And that's bearing fruit for them as well. They've got a few names on this list this year that intrigue me. And the main one pairing with Jaden Warren is Jeremiah Bushnell from Iowa, Louisiana. 6'1", 190 pounds. Just an out-of-state name to be excited about if you're UH.
Well, going back to the offensive front there a little bit, I really like Aaron Wolford, too, from Port Neches Groves. PNG is kind of known for producing top-tier offensive linemen in the state of Texas to go on and be successful, who is now at Texas, to be successful at the next level. And I don't think Aaron Wolford is any different. He's committed to play for the University of Houston, does have experience playing at tackle, but I think you've already mentioned it before, he's probably going to slide inside to play guard.
I think he could be a tremendous center. I like that position for him, the way that he is athletic on tape, gets off the ball, can take on double teams really well, uses his hands extremely well, and he's always balanced. And that's those little technique things with Wolford is what makes him the highest rated offensive line commit in this class and one of our highest rated guys. I believe he's the number 4, number 5 rated interior offensive lineman in the entire state on Dave Campbell's Texas Football, so that's really saying something. He's an eye-opener and has played for a true state contender. They won the state championship years ago whenever he was just a sophomore, and they were really good last year.
Jackson Christian was there as well. I believe that was his senior year.
I think that they went off of Wolford's side to score the game-winning touchdown.
I think so too. Yeah. We gotta go back and look.
But just as a sophomore, that he was already a clear-cut P4 Division I guy, and he's only continued to develop and grow since that time. I think he's going to have a tremendous senior year. Not enough people are going to talk about what he does.
Now, give me a sleeper in the 2026 class that you think could make some noise? Maybe even in his senior year or at the college ranks?
I'm not going to go very far from the front door of our offices here to give you my sleeper as it relates to this cycle. In general,
I know who you're going to say.
Because he's going to be one of the lower-rated guys. Xavier Fleming. Every game that Louisville plays, Fleming is a difference maker, and he's extremely athletic. Listed at 6 foot, 300 pounds, he'll flip over and play some offense sometimes. You know, it's crazy to see a 300-pound guy split out wide or lining up in the backfield to get a carry. Extremely athletic. I had the good fortune of being at a game where I saw him get a pick six. Big fella can run.
Oh my gosh,
he can scoot. I love big man touchdowns, so I was extremely hyped whenever that happened. But Xavier Fleming is a guy that's done well in camps. He always shows up in pads, and he's probably not going to be rated as high for some of his intangibles, right? I don't know that he's too short. I mean, he's right at 6 foot, but he may be overlooked by some of the recruiting services, but powered behind, some of his measurables and stuff, and he's an athletic freak.
What about Kevon Roberts at a Port Arthur Memorial down there, kind of in the Houston area? 6 foot 475 pounds. He's kind of a beast in a squad that is already loaded with top talent prospects. Yeah,
no doubt about it. And I feel like he was one of the more overlooked guys in this class. And talking with the head coach down at Port Arthur Memorial, they've got a ton of prospects. Right? This class is loaded up.
Loaded.
He feels the same way, and he expects him to be a huge part of the offense. They have a tremendous 1-2 punch with Kevon Roberts and Amonte Martin on the offensive side of the ball, because Amonte Martin is a tremendous running back, but the thing that opens up holes for him is being able to put Roberts on the vertical routes, run him deep down the field, and let him use his size to get over the top of defensive backs to make plays, and I think that's exactly how he fits in at UH. He'll give Keyshawn Henderson a deep weapon to be able to look for.
So let me ask you one more question. Do you think that we should put an exclamation point instead of question mark?
I'm putting an exclamation point. I covered all the classes.
After all of this discussion, I think I agree with you on that one.
This is the best UH class that I've covered.
I agree.
Dating back to 2007. I started in this business in 2004. I'm going to give a 3-year grace period while I figured things out. So I'm going to go to 2007 until now. This is the best Houston Cougars class of all time. And they've only got 16 commitments. The class of 2016 had 20, and they also had the benefit of adding Trendavian Dixon into that class after the Baylor scandal. So he transferred from Baylor, got added into those recruiting rankings. So take out that commitment, and this class would already rate higher nationally on all the services. So it would definitively, statistically be number one if it wasn't for that. But give this class 4 more recruits, and it'll go up. This is the best Houston Cougars class of all time. You're living in it right now, UH fans. So these are the players that you're going to be building your future with. This is a new era of college football, and you should be excited. And it's a new era of the Houston Cougars football program. A lot of things to look forward to in the next coming years. As always, keep it locked on TexasFootball.com/recruiting.